One-hitter quitters are the most terrifying way of knocking someone out because your opponents rarely see them coming.
People burning up Nick Maynard's phone to try to get a matchup with him. Got him! Goes the win! The fight clock is brought to you by Modelo.
Looking clean, but a big right hand, and Wonder Boy's out. Continues to take blows from O'Malley.
Oh, that's it!
That is it! There's the right hand.
You rarely ever realize what hit you, and by the time you do, you're probably lying in an ambulance surrounded by half a dozen people. Here's a collection of the scariest one-shot-and-done knockouts in UFC history. First up, we have a cracking fight between two high-octane featherweights, Josh Emmett and Ricardo Lamas. In their highly anticipated battle in 2017, the first 4 minutes unfolded with minimal action and had a few fans yawning. In the final seconds of the round, punches started to flow like the tides of imagination.
Then goes forward and throws those big punches. There it is.
It appeared to have the power advantage here early.
And before anybody could know it, a wide flurry of lefts and rights from both ends saw Lamas taking a massive left hook and crashing stiff to the canvas.
Statistically has been the more efficient striker. Down and out goes Lamas!
Left hooks are surely a deadly weapon, but what about left head kicks? Kamaru Usman was a dominant champion when he faced Leon Edwards at UFC 278. He had 5 title defenses to his name and was already considered the GOAT by many.
He's up there with John Jones and Anderson Silva and GSP. He's one of the greatest of all time.
Surprisingly, Usman had a shaky start.
Edwards did a good job. Oh my goodness!
From then on, Usman had things under control with his wrestling, the fear of which made Edwards an easy target on the feet as well. For nearly 4 rounds, Usman was in the driving seat, but with 30 seconds remaining, Edwards turned the tide in his favor with a smashing combination that was capped off with a head kick.
Which he is cut. I mean, that is a dejected...
Usman dropped like a curtain at the end of a dramatic act. He was impressed nevertheless.
What a shot. It was a great shot. A great shot. I'm talking Hail Mary to the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl, last 10 seconds, that was a great shot, man.
Now, since we're spicing the kicking game up, should we do it without giving you guys a glimpse of the best kicker in the game? Of course not, because
that's fucking illegal.
Yair Rodriguez is the flashiest kicker in the game, and he can hit from any angle. At UFC 197, Rodriguez put his taekwondo on full display against Andre Fili. Rodriguez dominated Fili in almost all areas. He outstruck him.
Whoa, and there's that jumping ground kick. Look at that. Wow. Messing with those wheel kicks. Beautiful leg kick.
He outgrappled him.
Oh, he got hammered there, though. Big shots.
And then he struck him with a jumping switch kick that had Fili plunging like a rock sinking in deep waters.
Yair's just so round kick. Wow. He got him. It's it.
Just like that.
Rodriguez is a certified BMF, isn't he?
Boom! And the left goes perfect.
But what about the man who actually has that symbolic belt? Justin Gaethje is violence personified, and he's pound for pound one of the scariest dudes on the planet.
He takes a knee and he's taking more punishment. He's hurt bad.
Despite being one of the best in the world, Gaethje doesn't always get the recognition he deserves. So much so that he was the underdog when he rematched Dustin Poirier at UFC 291. Now, Poirier won the first fight after 3 rounds of war.
By Poirier. He's looking for the finish here. Gaethje hurt. Poirier continues to land.
With all the clinch.
Dustin Poirier.
No 2 fights are ever the same. In the rematch, Gaethje was more strategic and relied on counterattacks. And then he pulled off a Leon Edwards-esque sequence to have Poirier bouncing off the canvas like a basketball.
Heard from now, about a minute gone by round 2.
With Poirier and Gaethje tied at 1 apiece, don't we deserve a rubber match?
Yes! Yes! Yes!
From one violent lightweight to another, we're not slowing down one bit. Michael Chandler has had a wild UFC ride. He started off with a knockout, and then
look at the immediate big knockout from Michael Chandler!
And then produced barnbusters against the division's top guys, all while cutting promos that put pro wrestlers to shame. But nothing comes close to his victory over Tony Ferguson. The first round was terrible for Mike as he was badly rocked, and then elbowed from the bottom. But in the second round, he exercised the devil with this.
But honestly, that was
Chandler's ballistic KO impressed many, including Sean O'Malley.
Tony laid there for like 4 hours. I was like, oh shit, we just witnessed the first murder.
O'Malley sure knows a good KO when he sees one, since he always has a knack for reducing people to molecules. At UFC 250, O'Malley put his scary knockout power on display against Eddie Wineland. O'Malley's foe came out guns blazing.
Never bold characters.
And real dangerous with his strike.
But once O'Malley pulled the trigger, Wineland froze. And after anyone knew it, O'Malley put his opponent fast asleep with a straight right hand.
He does a fan.
Did you hear that?
Cody Garbrandt was fighting on the same card that night against Rafael Asunciao. Having suffered knockout defeats back
He's there! Garbrandt's down!
to back
World of trouble. Big knee.
to back Garbrandt was in a must-win situation. The former champ opened round one with low kicks, followed by a wheel kick that missed. For the remainder of the round, Garbrandt outstruck Asunciao with a mixture of strikes. Round two was very much the same until Asunciao pressed forward with reckless abandon and ran into a loaded-up right hand. Asunciao crashed face first onto the canvas. The UFC bantamweight division is a gift that keeps on giving. It's a shark tank where no fish is safe, not even those who've swam from shore to shore. I'm talking about the legendary Frankie Edgar, who found out that he was past his prime in the worst of ways possible when he fought Corey Sandhagen. The fight didn't last long, so there's not much to say. The two circled for 20-odd seconds as Edgar pressed in search of a takedown. But the moment he level changed, Sandhagen took out his magic hat and pulled out a hellish flying knee. The UFC bantamweight division and knee strikes get along really well, it seems. But they aren't always bad for those on the receiving end, because sometimes they even win you titles. Maybe Sterling was giving an Oscar-worthy performance there, but he was pretty candid against Marlon Moraes. In their bantamweight clash in 2017, the Brazilian dominated early as he tossed Sterling to the canvas but avoided ground engagement. Then Moraes dropped Sterling with a left. But soon, a scramble ensued with a failed armbar attempt by Sterling. Moraes escaped and returned to the center. As Sterling rose, Moraes attempted a left head kick that connected and immediately shut down Funkmaster's system.
Back to the center they go. Big kick! And that is it!
Sterling fell to the canvas with his limbs twisted in all directions, whereas Moraes walked off like he was the pocket-sized version of Mark Hunt. Don't let his record fool you. Mark Hunt was a bad man with a gifted ability to take big shots and return the favor with even bigger ones. He was a cult hero in K1 Pride as well as in the UFC, where he scored notable wins like the one against Frank Mir. The first 3 minutes of the fight had little action, but then Hunt launched a missile of a right hand. And the towering Mir crumbled like a house of cards. Roy Nelson didn't have it any different either. He was beaten up for 2 rounds and then knocked out with a brutal uppercut that had Nelson toppling headlong to the canvas.
Solid for a couple of years now.
That's it! Oh my! And it's all over!
It was a scary knockout indeed, but the next one is guaranteed to send shivers down your spine. Joaquin Buckley shot against Impa Kasanganay in their middleweight bout in 2020. Buckley and Kasanganay didn't waste any time throwing heavy punches from the start. Buckley was landing some solid shots to Kasanganay's chin, and so was his opponent. In the second round, things took a crazy turn. Kasanganay caught one of Buckley's kicks, but instead of trying to escape, Buckley jumped and kicked back with his other foot, connecting perfectly and sending Kasanganay into oblivion with one of the greatest knockouts in UFC history.
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life.
Dana White was over the moon for Buckley's viral moment.
I give him every bonus. Nobody's ever seen anything like that. Don Shelby texted me and said, write him a check right now for 50 grand and go give it to him before he gets out of the
Oh, man.
So these were the best one-shot-and-done knockouts in UFC history. Mention your top 3 in the comments section below. See you on the next one.